Hiring my first virtual assistant was one of the best decisions I've made in my creator business, boosting my earnings to over $20,000 each month. But if you've never done it before, the process can feel overwhelming. Where do you find someone? What do you pay them? And how do you know they're the right fit? In this video, I'm walking you through my exact process that I use start to finish. You'll have everything you need to go hire your first VA this week. Hi, my name is Andy, and I've been in the Amazon Influencer Program for just over a year. And I founded this channel to help creators like yourself level up. And if you're wondering what the Amazon Influencer Program is and how to join without being an influencer, I may be publishing a video in the future. Also, please like and subscribe if you want new content every week. Let's get right into it. First, let's make sure we're on the same page about what a virtual assistant actually is, because I think a lot of people might have the wrong idea going in, and I know I did. A virtual assistant is a remote worker who handles tasks for your business. They're a person you hire, train, and manage just like any employee, except they work remotely and you're typically hiring them internationally as contractors. In the context of the Amazon influencer business, a VA might handle things like organizing your raw footage, editing and uploading videos to Amazon, managing your storefront, scheduling social media posts, doing product research, handling brand outreach, basically anything that keeps operations running so you can focus on filming and strategy. The right VA buys you back time, and time in this business is directly tied to output, and more specifically, strategic output means more earnings. Now, where do you actually find one? There are several platforms out there. Upwork and Fiverr are the most well-known. You can find VAs there, but you're often paying agency markups and the quality is inconsistent. There are also full-service VA agencies that will match you with someone and handle the admin, but again, you're paying a premium for that convenience and you lose some control over who you're actually working with. These agencies can charge $3,000 to $5,000 just to find the VA, and then an ongoing $500 fee each month to cover transactions. My approach, and the one I recommend, is direct hiring, specifically from the Philippines through a platform called OnlineJobs.ph. The cost of a virtual assistant can vary from $3 to $6 an hour for your VA, and there's no placement fees or ongoing fees. You just pay $69 to $99 a month for however long you need access to OnlineJobs.ph, and you cancel after you've hired your VA. Here's why I focus on the Philippines. The work ethic is strong. Filipino workers tend to treat remote employment seriously, show up consistently, and take real pride in their work. English fluency is high. The Philippines has two languages, Filipino and English, and most professionals are completely fluent. Cultural familiarity also matters more than people think. Because of the American influence on Philippine culture through media, outreach, pop culture, Filipino VAs tend to understand American references, idioms, and context in a way that makes communication much smoother. That's not something you appreciate until you've worked with someone where that alignment isn't there. And honestly, accents, and I'm not trying to be dismissive of anyone, it's just a practical reality for video adjacent work or client facing roles. Accents from the Philippines are generally very neutral and easy to understand for US audiences, which matters if your VA is ever on a call or doing any communication on your behalf. The rates are also competitive in a way that makes it work for both parties. You can hire a talented, dedicated, full-time VA for a fraction of the cost of what the equivalent role would be domestically, and you're still paying a very strong wage by local standards. It's genuinely a good deal on both sides. Now, before you write a single word of your job posting, you need to do one thing and get clear on exactly what you want this person to do. Here's the exercise I recommend. Open a doc or a spreadsheet and write down every single task you do in your business, from the big stuff like product research and filming, all the way down to checking your storefront, replying to comments, scheduling posts, social media. Write it all down. Then go through that list and each task into one of three categories. The first is the things you love to do and that directly generate revenue. For me, that's filming, strategy, and product research. These stay with you, and don't hand those off until you're ready to delegate some of that. The second is things you don't enjoy and that are time consuming but necessary. Editing videos, uploading to Amazon and social media, managing the publishing, calendar, outreach, emails to brands, and creator connections messaging, organizing files. This is the sweet spot for delegation. These tasks are important important, but they don't require your specific judgment or creativity. They can be documented and taught. The third is things that could be taught to someone else with clear instructions. Even if you kind of enjoy it yourself, ask yourself, is this the highest value use of my time? If the answer is no, it's a candidate for delegation. Once you have the list, you have the foundation for your job posting, you know what you need, and you can write a role around it. And before you write the posting, you also need to know what you're going to pay because you'll need to include compensation in the listing. Rates vary depending on the experience level and skills required. For a junior VA with no prior experience, someone you're going to train from scratch, you're typically looking at $400 to $600 a month for full-time work. That's 40 hours a week. I usually do a lower rate during the training period, say $400, and then move them to a full rate once they've completed onboarding and proven themselves. For a VA with more specific skills, video editing or social media management, rates are higher. You might be looking at $600 to $900 or more per month, depending on how specialized the role is. There are also benefits that aren't legally required for foreign contractors, but that I strongly recommend building in from the start. The 13th month bonus, which is standard in the Philippines and expected, paid Philippine national holidays, and merit raises on an annual basis. I also offer 5 paid days off as a start for my VAs. As an alternative to providing national holidays though, you could increase the total number of paid days off to like 15 for the year. Now these aren't big costs, but they build loyalty in a way that's hard to put a number on. Turnover is expensive and retention is cheap in comparison. For payments, I use Wise.com. It's straightforward, low fees, and widely used by Filipino contractors. It's what I'd recommend if you don't already have a system for international payments. Okay, let's talk about the actual posting. All right, so this is what I use for the junior VA role at Andrews Reviews. This is the kind of the opening section, business essentially, what you do, who you are, what's the opportunity? And this matters because good candidates are evaluating you just as much as you're evaluating them. If your posting sounds vague or unprofessional, you're going to attract vague, unprofessional applicants. This section describes exactly how the role works, including the 30-day paid training period, which I'll talk more about in a minute. The responsibilities section is broken into 2 parts, what they'll be doing day 1 and what they'll grow into over time. I did this intentionally because I want the candidates who are excited about growth, not just someone looking to clock in and clock out. All right, so here I put the qualifications and where I filter out the candidates. I'm looking for highly organized, detail-oriented, and proactive. And these are probably the most important qualities, but I would say adaptability is another big one that I forgot to include in this particular job posting. Now, they have to be comfortable with using AI tools, excellent written and spoken English, reliable internet, and a machine that can handle video editing, for example, if this VA is going to be doing a lot of video editing. Overlap at least 1 hour during the day for check-ins and just like team meetings. That's around 7 p.m. their time, but 7 a.m. my time, Eastern time zone. And so you will have to work with your VAs for a specific time to meet so that you can handle training and just daily check-ins and calls and things like that. And I do require Hubstaff for time and productivity tracking. It keeps things transparent for both sides and removes ambiguity about hours worked. It also takes screenshots of the VA logged in, which can help you detect bad actors that might be working with other clients on your time. Although I have never seen this to be the case with my VAs. If you are going to implement this type of software, I recommend doing it at the very beginning and upfront in the job posting. Otherwise, it's much more difficult to implement later after your VA has started. Here are the application instructions that I expect each applicant to complete. I ask for a screenshot of their computer specs and internet speed from speedtest.net, which filters out anyone who doesn't meet the technical minimums and also shows you who can follow simple instructions. I require 3 assessments, the Big 5, a personality test from Truity, an IQ test, and the 16 personalities test. I'm not using these to make a final decision. I'm just using them to see how a person communicates, whether they can follow multi-step instructions, and get a baseline read on how they think and how they work. And I ask for a cover message that answers specific questions about why they think they're a good fit fit and what experience they have and what tools they're comfortable with. Now, pro tip here that I might try out next time is to ask them to put the number of my subscribers in the subject line, just so that I can easily screen out those that don't follow application instructions. All of these instructions will screen out your applicant pool before you ever read a single resume. Anyone who sends you an incomplete application has already told you something important about how they follow instructions, so don't move forward with these folks. Now, once you've narrowed down your candidates to a short list, I schedule 30 to 45 minutes with the candidates. I'm assessing communication. Can they articulate thoughts clearly? Does the conversation feel natural? And for the two final candidates, I usually ask that they complete a test task. This is important, especially for roles that require video editing skills. A test task is a small paid assignment that mirrors the actual work that they'll be doing. It's paid, and so I can't stress this enough. You're asking for their time and skill. Pay them a small amount for the task. It's good practice, and it also signals that you're a serious employer worth working for. There are some bad actors that use free test tasks, which could cause your VA to disengage from the posting. And even if they do complete the free test task, it sets a bad tone in the beginning of a work relationship. Now, in the test task, you're not looking for perfection. You're looking at how they approach the task, whether they ask clarifying questions, how they communicate, and how close the output is to the instructions given. That tells you far more than any interview answers. Then, if I move forward, I bring them on for a 30-day paid training period. This is a formal trial, structured, documented, and with clear expectations on both sides. Week 1 is orientation and tool setup. Week 2, supervised execution of real tasks. Week 3 is more independent work with check-ins. Week 4, evaluation. At the end of the 30 days, I make the full-time offer, or I have an honest conversation that it's not a right fit. Both outcomes are fine. The trial period protects both parties. There is one caveat, though, that I'd like to mention. Sometimes I opt to skip the trial period if I'm hiring a more experienced or sought-after candidate. A 1-year contract without a trial period is a stronger offer, especially if the candidate is receiving multiple offers. If you're feeling hesitant about committing a whole year, make it a renewable 3-month contract with strong emphasis that you're looking for a long-term team member. That's the full process. Find the right platform, do your task audit, know your rates, write a posting that filters for quality, use application requirements that do the screening for you, test before you commit, and run a structured trial period. If you want to go even deeper on this, the full onboarding framework, how to build SOPs, how to manage a VA day-to-day, and the same system I use with my VAs for my $20,000 a month business, I have a course called HireUp that covers everything. The course is especially nuanced in detailing how to train and manage for high performance. Also details about how to give your VA the right type of access to your Amazon account so they don't have full access to banking and passwords, important tips about the type of questions that are actually illegal to ask in an interview, how I handle my year-end taxes and payroll with my VAs, and there's so much more packed into a 10 self-paced learning module. It's 50% off right now if you're interested in the pre-sale, but once it's live, it's going to be full price. But if you found this video helpful enough to move forward on your own, sign up for my mailing list and I'll send you the exact template I used to hire my last rockstar VA. I'll also include an affiliate link to OnlineJobs.ph in the description below, where I'll earn a small commission if you click and subscribe to the service. Thanks for watching and see you in the next one.